Have you ever noticed how some older people seem completely at ease in their own company? They don't rush to fill every moment with noise or company, and yet they radiate a kind of calm strength. Being alone isn't something they fear. In fact, for them, solitude is like a favorite armchair, comfortable, familiar, and supportive. It's not about isolation. It's about the rich, full life they've built within themselves. These individuals often possess qualities that are not only admirable, but deeply inspiring. Number 1. Profound self-awareness. By the time a person reaches their later years, they've been through decades of joys, struggles, and lessons. Those who enjoy solitude often carry a deep awareness of who they are. They've taken the time to reflect on their past, understand their patterns, and get honest about their strengths and weaknesses. This self-awareness shows in how they move through the world. There's no need for constant validation or approval. Their sense of worth comes from within. I once met a retired teacher in her 70s who spent her mornings journaling and meditating. She told me that sitting quietly with her own thoughts helped her uncover parts of herself she never knew existed. Her calm confidence wasn't loud or boastful. It was like a steady light that didn't need to prove itself, and people naturally felt at ease in her presence. Number 2. Unwavering independence. Solitude often nurtures independence. Older people who enjoy being alone tend to be resourceful and self-reliant. They make decisions without needing constant input from others, and they trust themselves to handle challenges. This independence isn't about rejecting help or refusing connection. It's about knowing they can stand on their own feet. A neighbor of mine, a widower in his late 60s, keeps his life running smoothly by himself. He maintains his home, manages his finances, and even travels solo to explore new places. He returns from these trips with stories full of small adventures, getting lost in a charming alley, sharing a meal with strangers, discovering a hidden garden. You can feel his sense of accomplishment, not because he did it alone out of pride, but because he genuinely enjoys steering his own life. Number 3. Creative spirit. Time alone often opens the door to creativity. Without constant social demands, the mind has room to wander and play. Many older individuals who prefer their own company channel that freedom into art, writing, music, or even gardening. Their creations often carry a personal depth that comes from years of lived experience. I once visited the home of an 80-year-old artist whose walls were covered in her paintings. Each one told story, some bright and joyful, others more reflective and quiet. She explained that her best work came from those long, peaceful hours when she could sink fully into her imagination. That creative energy didn't just produce beautiful pieces, it kept her mind sharp, her days purposeful, and her spirit alive. Number 4. Rich inner life. Spending a lot of time alone doesn't mean life is empty. Quite the opposite, it often means life is rich on the inside. Older people who embrace solitude tend to be deep thinkers. They've learned the value of introspection, of pondering big questions without rushing to easy answers. Their minds are like well-stocked libraries, full of insights, memories, and connections between ideas. Talking with someone like this can feel like opening a treasure chest. You never know what gem of wisdom they might share. I have a friend, an 85-year-old former librarian, who can link almost any topic to a book she's read. Conversations with her don't just entertain, they expand your way of seeing the world. It's the depth of her inner world that makes her company so rewarding, even though she spends much of her time alone. Number 5. Emotional resilience. Life inevitably brings losses, changes, and challenges, and older people who enjoy solitude often handle these moments with a quiet strength. They've developed the ability to process emotions without immediately leaning on distractions or other people to make them feel better. This doesn't mean they never reach out for support. It means they know how to stand in their feelings, to work through them in a healthy way. One of the most inspiring examples I've seen is a 75-year-old war veteran who lost his wife after decades together. Instead of shutting down, he began taking long hikes in nature. Out there, surrounded by trees and open sky, he found a way to heal. His resilience wasn't about denying grief, it was about allowing it, then slowly finding peace within himself. Watching someone navigate life storms with that kind of grace reminds you that strength isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's simply the steady choice to keep going, day after day. Number 6. Gratitude and contentment. When you spend time alone, you begin to notice the little things that often get overlooked in the rush of life. Older people who enjoy solitude tend to find joy in the simplest moments. A warm cup of tea, the sound of birds in the morning, the way the light changes as the sun sets. This gratitude creates a quiet happiness that isn't dependent on big events or constant stimulation. I remember speaking with a retired nurse in her late 70s who walks every morning just to watch the neighborhood wake up. She notices the way flowers bloom at different times of year, recognizes the different bird calls, and feels a deep sense of peace from these small encounters. She told me that appreciating these moments has made her life feel full, even without a busy schedule. It's a reminder that contentment often comes when we stop chasing it and start noticing what's already there. Number 7. Empathy and compassion. You might think that people who enjoy being alone would be less connected to others, but often the opposite is true. Solitude gives them time to reflect on their own experiences, and that reflection deepens their understanding of what others go through. This makes them incredibly empathetic and compassionate. They tend to be great listeners, the kind of friends who really hear you without rushing to offer quick fixes. I know an 82-year-old retired social worker who spends her days volunteering at a local shelter. She has a calm way of making people feel safe enough to open up, simply because she listens with genuine care. Her empathy isn't born from theory. It comes from a lifetime of paying attention, both to her own heart and to the lives of others. Number 8. Strong sense of boundaries. One of the most admirable traits of older people who value their alone time is their ability to protect their peace. They've learned that saying yes to everything is a fast road to exhaustion. Instead, they choose when and how to engage, and they do so without guilt. Boundaries are not walls, they're filters, allowing in what nourishes and keeping out what drains. I think of my aunt in her 70s who has mastered this balance. She happily attends gatherings when she's in the mood, but she's just as comfortable declining an invitation if she needs rest or quiet. People respect her for it because her no is always gentle but firm. Setting boundaries like this ensures that when she does show up, she's fully present, not resentful or worn out. Number 9. Heightened appreciation for relationships. Far from being antisocial, older individuals who like solitude often value their relationships even more. The difference is that they don't collect connections for the sake of having them. They focus on quality over quantity, investing deeply in a few meaningful bonds. When they spend time with friends or family, they're attentive, engaged, and present in a way that makes those moments truly special. My uncle in his late 70s is a great example. He loves his quiet evenings at home, but when he meets his small circle of friends, he is fully there, sharing stories, listening intently, laughing without glancing at a phone. It's clear that his time alone recharges him, making his time with others more vibrant. Number 10. Freedom in choice. Perhaps one of the most liberating qualities is the freedom to choose without feeling pressured by society or others' expectations. Older people who enjoy solitude often live life on their own terms. They decide how to spend their days, what habits to keep, and which relationships to nurture, all based on what aligns with their values, not what will impress anyone else. This freedom comes from years of trial and error, of learning what matters most and what can be let go. It's not rebellion, it's authenticity. One woman I know, in her early 80s, decided to move to a smaller home near the coast simply because she'd always dreamed of waking up to the sound of waves. Some people questioned it, but she didn't need approval. Now every morning, she drinks her coffee by the window, listening to the ocean, living exactly the way she wants. That's the power of choosing for yourself. Solitude is often misunderstood as a lack of company, lack of excitement, lack of connection. But in truth, for those who embrace it, Solitude is a rich and fertile ground where qualities like self-awareness, independence, creativity, emotional resilience, gratitude, empathy, strong boundaries, deep appreciation for relationships, and the freedom to live authentically can thrive. These qualities don't just make life better for the person who has them. They also enrich the lives of everyone they meet. If you see yourself in these traits, take pride in them. And if you know someone like this, maybe take a moment to let them know how much you value what they bring into your life. Alone time isn't about shutting the world out. It's about building a strong inner world that allows you to show up in the outer world with more clarity, kindness, and joy.